What's up, brothers and sisters? Thank you so much for always coming back to support us in watching, subscribing, liking, sharing, and buying us a coffee. Guys, that's been very good of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we had to report something amazing. And when we say amazing, it's because we know what Africa is saying, especially by the Western media. But Burkina Faso doesn't play with this case. So Burkina Faso has suspended the BBC, that is British Broadcast Corporation, and the Voice of America. For how many weeks? 2 weeks. And remember last year, that is 2023, we saw Burkina Faso suspending LCI, which is a French media, France 24, RFI, that is Radio France Internationale, and Le Monde, that is their newspaper. I don't know if they allow them to do so. And they usually go against the policies that have been put by the government. Then they decide to report something which is out of the sky, their own thinking,
They create their own narrative.
Yeah. What happened this time? That was on Thursday. The suspension was ordered on Thursday by the country's Superior Council of Communication following the broadcast of information on what Human Rights Watch report accusing the Burkinabè army of abuses against civilians. Guys, the Burkinabè army has been fighting. We call them, there's the army, there's the VDP. The VDP is like those people who are volunteering to fight, like just common people just volunteer to fight terrorism. After being asked by Captain Ibrahim TRAORE. Now these people go into deep into the villages, the forests, fighting these terrorists. And now these guys are saying they are carrying out abuses against civilians, and sometimes they also reported that they killed civilians. Which, if you see a terrorist, it's a civilian. They don't have the army clothes, they have weapons. So rebroadcasts were immediately halted, and the programs of the 2 international media stations were suspended, as well as access to the websites and digital platforms of the BBC, the VOA, and Human Rights Watch. The American media says it's maintaining its coverage in Burkina Faso and intends to continue covering activities in the country. So they cover the activities, they tell other people, but not the Burkinabè people. I think this is good. They should follow, due procedures.
I think it's the best move, and bearing in mind that Burkina Faso has its own media stations. You have Faso TV, you have, what's the other one?
Burkina 24.
You have a lot. If they wanted news from Burkina Faso, they could even source them from these television stations. We usually see our in other countries newspapers saying sourced from BBC, sourced from what?
That is the problem.
Yeah, so if they want news from Burkina Faso, they can source them from these people who are reporting from the ground, especially their television stations and newspapers, honestly. Now the problem with them is that they now start twisting the narrative. They make it, they give it propaganda, and they make the Burkinabè. The good thing is that Captain Ibrahim TRAORE always sanitizes his people.
Yeah.
So even if these people write about it, maybe the international consumers of this news are the ones who will be getting mixed up stories. But for Burkinabès, they know what is happening, they know what is going on. I bet they don't even care about their BBCs and these other VOAs, No.
Yeah, because you see, like I've seen people, international, like African people, saying we cannot have military leadership. It doesn't work. We have seen it not working in ABC. But only that they've been given that
by BBCs and all of this.
That notion, that narrative that it can never work and only democracy works. But if you look at it, you see that democracy doesn't. In most cases, except in Rwanda, doesn't give us anything. You see, it's just a nonsense of leaders.
And for me, I usually think that a system of leadership is not just the start and the end point of a good, good governance. You can have the best system, but if the leader himself is not ordained to become a leader, trust me, that country will not even go towards the direction of whatever Burkina Faso is going right now. Burkina Faso, according to this international media and all of these UN bodies, they don't, recognize his government as a legit government because it's not democratic. But look at what he's doing for his people. This is a leader who was ordained to become a leader. He got, God even put him in that place to say, this is your time. However it's going to happen, just grab it and go. So you cannot say that it's democracy, it's this. For me, it's about the leader himself. Are you ready? Are you?
For me, I think democracy gives us politicians, not leaders. That's the problem. So, Voice of America wrote this on the website.
The same one who has been banned.
Yeah, so they have been banned, and we want to hear what they said. So they said Burkina Faso has temporarily suspended the programs of VOA and BBC Africa following the broadcast of news stories about a Human Rights Watch report accusing the Burkinabè army of abuses against civilian populations. The Superior Council of Communication Thursday ordered the immediate halt of the rebroadcasts and suspension of the programs of both radio stations for 2 weeks. Access to the website and digital platforms of the BBC, VOA and Human Rights Watch was also suspended within Burkina Faso. The acting director said this: VOA stands by its reporting about Burkina Faso and it intends to continue to fully and fairly cover events in that country. We ask the government of Burkina Faso to reconsider this troubling decision. But it has beaten them.
Troubling decision.
So next time they will not repeat that. So the suspension reduces the BBC's ability to reach audiences with independent and accurate news. Propaganda. We will continue to report on the region in the public interest and without fear or favor. So they continue talking about the suspension extend a pattern of censorship in the country, which has included previous suspension of several French and local outlets. That is Jonathan Rosen, senior African researcher at the Committee to Protect Journalists. So what they usually do is they start talking about journalism freedom, freedom of
press.
Press. They start talking about freedom of press. So you come, you speak something which is very wrong and something which you have made up. Then when you are banned for some time, you start talking about press freedom.
Yeah.
That's what.
And something that is meant to divide the citizens. Every country has opposition, and once you come in and strengthen the views of the opposition against the good government that we have in TRAORE, then it gives them more strength to say, you see, this is what is happening. Even when they are fighting against terrorists, we have seen on drones, Burkinabè TVs, Burkina Faso TV, Faso 7, your RTBs, they report, they show us what is happening. And if you know that these are civilians, there's no way that you can report that, because the people will be like, no, but these are civilians. But they are so clear on what is happening so that people will stop, listening to the propaganda that the international news are giving to the populations. Yeah. That's the good part about Ibrahim Traore. Even if these people did this, Burkinabès know they are clear about the situation and there's no way that they can get the views from the outside media. Guys, let us know what you think about this. Are you excited that Traore continues to be the safeguard, or to safeguard his homeland? Are you excited that he's sticking by his principles, values, and whatever he wants to achieve for his country? We are excited to see all of these developments happening in Burkina Faso. Please don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. If you want to support us, the links are in the description box down below.
We see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.